Nothing like jumping straight into it, is it, Joey? It's fine, it's fine. Welcome back, everyone, to the craft store. Did you find me you were going? Good spot of lunch, all good?
Yeah. Came back, yeah.
And you came back?
I came back.
Which is perfect. Well, good job, really, because you've left us with some wonderful bits and bobs.
Yes.
Of course, we'd rather you stay. But nevertheless, what is this show all about, Joey? Because goodness me, it's the sort of thing that really can... I know it's called Storage4Crafts, which I get, and that's sort of how you pitch it, but then it's for the whole home.
It is. It's storage for everyone. For the
Yeah.
home, for the office, for schools, for craft. Anywhere you need to store something, we've got something to put it in.
Whether that's indoors and out, and by out I mean sheds, or it could be garages, or outbuildings, or
warehouses.
Warehouses, whatever you need to. You're thinking, what's this all about, really? This is like beautiful furniture. Well, you're right, it is. All the other pieces as well are exactly that. Everything across storage4crafts.com is beautifully hand-designed, like kind of hand-built originally, right? From you and your other half.
Yeah, Kevin and I kind of sit down together. Him more from the on set trying to tidy me up.
Right, yeah.
And I come at it more from a crafter because I've got sewing machines, die cutting machines, and I try my hand at most things. And then we've got a home, we've got kids. So
they're all in here?
Yeah, keep them in here. There's lots of things to store, you know, so it's utilitarian furniture, really.
That's exactly the perfect description. So this can absolutely help you to reclaim space, reclaim the living room, or turn that spare room into a craft room, or maybe it's a corner of a room, whatever you are thinking. There is something for everyone on this show, and you've got savings. Everything out of this fall between Joey and you, all the way down to the end there with you guys, a further 20% off the price. But if you're on the website, storage4crafts.com, we can have 20% off anything, basically, right?
You can, yeah.
You can indeed.
Yeah.
With that code, CraftStore20. These are already being reduced because these are sort of ones you're like, right, we've got some showstopper pieces, let's bring them to the forefront, away we go. But storage4crafts.com is where you go to get the best possible prices. And please, consider this in your home. This is the jewel in the crown. Joey, introduce us to the Nights Haze, please.
So this is the Nights Haze. This is craft room in a box.
Craft room in a box.
A crafty TARDIS, if you like.
Crafty cupboard.
Yep. But there's everything you could need in this for this to be your craft room.
You're looking at it now thinking, it's a wardrobe, right? There'll be lines of suits in here and coats and all sorts of stuff in there. Not so. Whichever room you are popping this in, you then open up to, as you said, your sewing machine, your die cutting machine, all of your ink pads, all of those fat quarters, whatever you do.
That's it. There's a home for everything. There's space to keep your machines plugged in. There's space for you to work, to have your children, your partner join you as well, because you've got 2 desks. But everything is to hand.
Let's prove it. Listen, we'll go through it in a lot more detail and a lot slower later on. We're going to preview everything on the show. You can preview ahead of us and look at the different colours, by the way. We've never had so many colour options, which is terribly exciting. But listen, when we get going on down here, you mentioned it just folds open. It's like a bit of a Swiss Army knife of, right?
It is really,
the bits keep coming. And then, so what was the purpose of, like, obviously tables for workspace, but whatever you need?
It is. Not everyone has the opportunity to have a craft room. Modern houses are getting smaller. But to be able to have that place where everything is, where your machines are plugged in, it's a godsend when you're a crafter because everything has its own home. You're not looking for the stamps you bought at Doncaster last summer. They're in a box. You're not looking for your embroidery scissors like I am constantly doing. They're in a tray.
Yeah.
5 minutes crafting is 5 minutes crafting now. It's not running around looking for everything and then thinking, I haven't got time now.
Yeah, you know what? That's a brilliant point. Sometimes the preparation takes the longest to get the roller ready and then to make sure it's wet and you need to clean it out, whatever. Then eventually the actual painting is like the secondary bit of it. You are ready to go because everything's already out. Now, what you are seeing right now, obviously the content is in sewing machines and things. That's up to you. It's your die-cutting machine. It's your sewing machine. It's your embroidery, etc., etc. Boxes and trays, all included.
All included. And you've got 61 in here. So you've got 30 trays. No, 31 trays and 30 boxes, all of different sizes. So you've got A3, 12 by 12, A4 boxes, varying sizes of trays. So you can really store, compartmentalise all your crafty goodies by brand, occasion, if you like. I tend to put stuff I use the most in the trays because there's no lids. And then the stuff I want to keep little hands out of or dust or whatever go in with lids.
So all of the lids, again, down where your feet go, that's full of storage as well, which you could take out. Maybe they're never going to live in here. Maybe these boxes are going to go into there's one perfect for the garage and all the bits and bobs, all the drill bits and tools and leads and the mobile phone chargers that you've got through the generations, but you never know.
It might come back.
It might come back. It doesn't, but nevertheless, it's all included for you, which is wonderful. One could be for washing up pile or something like that for clothes. One could be for, as you mentioned, like dog treats and the lead, whatever you've got for you. But you get everything you see, which is wonderful, bar, of course, the sewing machine, because it's up to you what you're popping in there as well. Now then, with that price, you can divide the cost interest-free by 4. On Storage4Crafts have their own kind of flexi system, right? So you can divide it if you wish to. This is $6.99 this month. Obviously, times that by 4. That is 20% off the normal price. 20% off of the RRP, because you've done like a special offer, haven't you, which you've carried on to us because you've been at the shows and bits and bobs. So away you go. The further craft store 20, by the way, is purely for the craft store. You guys watching right now, word may well get round, but if you get on storage4crafts.com, going direct, you can pick your colour from one of 7. And with that price, extra postage, Joey?
No, shipping's always included with our furniture, but for this one as well, we've included the assembly.
Now, I've stood opposite you a number of times, and I'm very used to saying it was an option, right? If you want to go for the white glove service and have it assembled in the room of your choice, it's X amount on top of there. And I get it with a piece of furniture this size. That's now included with this.
Yeah, that's included with this one. So we'll take all the stress of building it away. Hopefully you just clear us a little bit of space. Doesn't matter which room in the house, because we'll put it wherever you want it. Bring all the rubbish away, leave you to play.
Leave you to play. Rubbish away, leave you to play.
Yeah.
Quick, someone write that down. Kevin, I know you're watching. Write that down. This is what is hugely exciting. And by the way, I'm just going to get my phone here because some comments that I saw after the hour were very, very good on that last show. Let me quickly read some of them to you. One of them here from Leslie saying, I have a number of Storage4Crafts units and truly rate them of the highest quality. This is all on the Facebook feed from that last show at midday. Ours was self-assembly. She said in brackets, we aren't self-assembly friendly either. But having said that, the instructions that came, the unit were fantastic. Me and my partner had no trouble at all assembling them. Wouldn't be without them. Highly recommend. That is from Leslie. Another one here. Samantha, my whole craft room is kitted out in Storage4Crafts furniture. Absolutely love it. There's even more reviews of that, and that's not like they are not in their like in the minority at all, because people do come back to shop with you more and more, don't they?
They do, because crafting isn't a hobby that you sort of pick up for 6 months and then think that's enough, I'm done. The joy with crafting is you might do that with paper crafting, but then you might move on to jewellery making or quilting or something like that. So you then have more stuff, but then 4 months later go back to paper crafting. So our range of furniture allows you to grow, gives you workspace if you need it, or just storage if that's just what you need. So there's something for everything.
And this is exactly why the rest of the show behind us is on the show, of which the colour can perfectly match. Is this cashmere?
This is the cashmere.
I was about to say chamomile. That's not right, but it could be. Who knows? So, because before in my life on Create and Craft, we had the vanilla and the oak. These were the best sellers. I get it. Like 2 options for you. Now you're going direct to Joey and Kevin, storage4crafts.com. 7 colours to pick from.
7 colours, yeah. We added 3 just before Christmas last year. Well, 2. The third one is slowly coming in now, anthracite, which is a really nice sort of dark grey, almost black colour. So if you're more masculine perhaps, or it's going in your son's room, something like that, perfect. I really like it.
Yeah.
There's choices of oaks, there's a white, so if you've got IKEA type things, Kallax units, it matches with those. So there's something for everyone. So
it works perfectly for you. So for the first time in my experience, the assembly is included. For the first time in my experience ever, 7 different options for you and a further 20% off. There's a lot more to show you, by the way, but nevertheless, if you're thinking, you know what, I love that idea, I'll divide the cost by 4 as well. $6.99 delivered this month, away you go. Sorry, the price-wise, it's delivered in like 6 weeks, did you say?
8 weeks for assembly, 6 weeks if you're going to put it together.
Aha, there we go. But the point is, it lasts an awful lot. And even like, what are they built from?
So it's melamine face chipboard, so it's the same as your kitchens and bathrooms, but this is 18 mil thick.
Right.
That kitchens, bathrooms tend to be 15 mil. So already you know it's strong because they take a lot of wear and tear in those rooms. They can take moisture, heat changes. So this will do the same in your conservatory, absolutely fine.
Yes.
Spray water on it, get it wet, absolutely fine. And you can clean it with whatever you use in those rooms as well. Sprays, abrasive cleaners, does no damage.
Whatever you fancy doing, so never fear about that. And finally, I know we're going to pack it back up and we're going to move on and going to come back, and so please stay with us, a lot more detail coming.
Yeah.
A lot of us are night owls, Joey. So if this is in a room somewhere, like, is it going to like illuminate the streets kind of thing? What if we are like into the evening?
So we have got 2 integrated LED strips in this. So you've got one just inside and then one directly above you. Doesn't bleed into the room. It's a nice...
It feels really focused.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a nice focus light down onto the desk, but you're not working in shadow either. So you can colour match nicely. If this does go in the lounge, you're not going to disturb anyone watching football or a movie or something. And late at night, if you're one of those night owls, you can just sit here to your heart's content.
Indeed, it is the latest kid on the block, if you like, the Nights Haze 3.0, the best possible price as well, with that further 20% off. Thank you for holding that and coming into here on your UK adventure. But nevertheless, and Flexi $6.99, that is it this month, and away you go. And then when we're done, again, we'll give you a full look round, we'll look at all the boxes, all the trays. Everything's very deliberate, isn't it, with the size of certain bits and bobs?
It is. We sort of come up with the size of the unit, and then we've got a list of dimensions of all the boxes and trays that we can get, and then we work out what will fit, and then I work out what will be useful.
I work out what I want,
Yeah.
because I imagine you'll want, because Jo has an awful lot of the same stuff as you do, as you say, with your fabrics or your crystal art, or whatever it is going to be. Right, that is your Nights Haze. Absolutely, to get hold of yours, you are shopping direct, Storage4Crafts, so the lighting isn't an extra cost. That used to be, right, like an extra little bolt-on. Assembly, no extra cost. That used to be, and completely understandably too. Away you go, all included, as is the delivery. But, Joey, if we keep wondering, there's more on the show.
There is more on the show, yes.
And these already have a further 20% off. Just quickly say, the swatches on the top here, these are several of those colours that we can get any of our units in, right?
That's it. The only one missing is the anthracite. I just haven't, it's that new, I haven't got a sample of it.
Haven't got it yet, I'm with you.
But yeah, you've got the vanilla, you've got the cashmere, sort of traditional oak, a natural oak, which is maybe a bit greyer with a whiter effect.
I do like that. If you're thinking right now, that matches my dining table, yeah, I bet it does.
And it's got a bit of a texture to it if you run your hand over the front of it.
Oh, yeah. There you go, your natural oak. And then finally, is it Devon oak?
Devon oak at the back. So it's
Bit lighter?
a bit lighter, but the grain is darker on it. And then white.
And there we go.
Yeah.
So these are your options. So these these furniture next to us here, these are all like oak.
The one on the end is the Devon oak.
That is the Devon oak, everything else okie dokie, as we see here. Now, Woolacombe is where we've come to. Here we go, again, one of the best sellers for us. Introduce us here, Joey.
So this is our take on the old style bureau that maybe your mum had, your gran had. My gran had one that I used to sit at and play at for ages.
Yep.
But we've put a bit of a crafty twist on it.
Go on, well, through the doors first.
Yep.
Down here. And again, if you're thinking, is that where my feet are going to go? Well, yes, but also, boxes.
Yeah, so you've got 12 by 12 and A4 in here. And you've got a selection of A4 boxes. You've got 8 of the shallower ones and 2 of the deeper ones. But the shelves are what we call double width, so you could take those out and then a scan and cut would fit in there.
Okay, I'm with you.
So if you're trying to think how wide it is.
Yep.
And then down this side, you've got 5 of the 12 by 12 boxes. So that's 12 by 12 inside. So it's more like 12 by 14.
Yeah, I think so. I'd reckon so, yeah.
So it's a nice big size. So if you're a quilter as well, your blocks are going to fit in there nicely.
And your reels of, as you said, you mentioned fleece or faux fur or whatever you've got in there. Things you want to keep safe, things you want to keep dry, like out of the way of oils and things. Okay.
Then your doors become your desk legs.
This is very, very clever. Not forgetting, this is the Woolacombe. 4 flexis here for you, so that's £210 delivered this month, which is marvellous. And that is just so neat and ready. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense, like it's like just ready to craft, isn't it?
And it's not a huge footprint. It's 1 metre square when the desk is down.
Okay.
But only ½ a metre wide when it's closed. So it would fit under the stairs. It would fit in the alcove in the dining room. It would fit in the attic quite nicely underneath the eaves. But you've got all this storage and workspace inside. If you've got one of the bigger sewing machines, you can take these shelves out and then it will fit inside.
I hope you're picturing where your stuff's going to go in here. So thinking on that top row, right? On the top row, then that's going to be the headed paper, or where your favourite pens are going to be there. Somewhere else, all these USBs you need, or little bits of storage, your spare pens that when you're grading or marking. Maybe you're a teacher, maybe you're a crafter. Brilliant craft desk. I mean, obviously talking crafting, but purely if you're card crafting, your little personal area that you require, loads of ink pads on here, couldn't you? Like your big, like A3 craft mats, perfect.
Absolutely. I mean, I have seen photos where some people have actually stuck their craft mat onto this so that it stays in place and then it stays flat as well.
True.
And it's not going to interfere with it locking. All the hinges and the lock are flush as well. So even with your mat on, it's not going to create any little bumps or anything like that.
That is a very, I wouldn't have even clocked that, but then when you're sliding things in and out or mats and things, it's so important, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And the last thing you want is if you've got your rollerblade out and you're trying to cut for a quilt and you get a couple of mil out, it's really frustrating. So
furious.
Yeah.
But perfect. So again, we'll go through it in much more detail. But yeah, this is one of those 4 divided by 4, sorry, £210. That's 839 in total. That is with, if you're thinking, I'm sure I've seen it for more, you have. The RRP is 20% more. So it's gone down 20% for the last time with the craft store. So thank you ever so much. And if it's not in this set, you can still go on storage4crafts.com and use the code craftstore20 and you'll get 20% off.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Right, let's fold this back up again. Brilliant, isn't it? If you're thinking actually, like box rooms and things, under a window in a box room, I think this would be absolutely perfect.
It would. So I mean, there's still a few working from home. This would be perfect because you could lock everything away at the end of the day. If you've got an Etsy store, it could be like your little posting station.
Yes, it could.
Because you could have all your envelopes in here. You've got space for scales, for labels, finished product in underneath, and then it's all safe too.
I can imagine all of your, like your Jiffy bags or equivalent of, all packed under there, and then it's off you go, then it's all packed away and no one's going to touch them. Where are my envelopes? Stop touching my envelopes, all your stamps. Away you go. That is the Woolacombe. Do look across the website because there's lots of different incarnations of these. I remember there's lots of tables you do, lots of bigger storage towers, etc. You can get 20% off anything, and the 7 colours are only because you are shopping direct. Storage4Crafts.com. Bravo, everybody. Can we talk Insto, please?
We can.
Because this is absolutely fab. It could be the very first one. I understand why it would be your first one. I can also understand why it'd be your second one, adding in onto that, or the Exford behind us. Yeah,
it's a great add-on point. It's a great point to start with as well, to see the quality of our products, to see how easy they are to build.
Yes.
And it was my first piece, the very first bit that Kevin designed.
So why was it this height? Because I've seen you do shorter ones?
We do shorter ones.
So
we've got one slightly taller than that one as well, but this is all the space that I thought I'd need. How wrong I was.
There's a I thought I had enough cardstock, darling. I thought I had enough glue.
Yeah, and now I've got a room.
Yeah. Which is what happens. It's your happy spot, it's your happy place, but also we are really passionate that people use what you've purchased.
Yeah.
So those stamps you've got from Jamie, that Sandtangle kit that you're going to purchase from Sandra on Thursday, like, let's make sure we're using it and enjoying that time.
Exactly, and because the boxes are transparent, you can see everything. You can see your colours, you can see your glitters, your embossing powders, your threads, your fabrics. You're not looking for it, it's there, you can use it.
This, I think you've hit the nail on the head with the what sort of footprint have we got here?
So this is just over A4, so if you can put an A4 piece of paper on the floor, leave yourself, say, an inch round it, that's where this is going to go. I
feel like if you can stand somewhere, this can stand there as well.
Yeah. Behind the door, that little dumping ground that most people have. That's where this will go.
Oh, all of my, you know those bags that you put your bags and bags in?
Yeah.
In there they go.
Perfect.
Probably one of the deep ones, actually.
Yeah.
There you go. You know what? The most rebellious I get is taking my Sainsbury's bag into Tesco.
Is it?
And vice versa.
Well done.
Oh, when I walk around Tesco with that orange bag, I feel like such a... I'm living on the edge. I know. Strap yourselves in. But I'm also thinking, well, so if you've got a utility, perfect. One of these could be full of like the pegs. I think different things speak to different people. When you mentioned about if you're an animal lover, a cat lover, a dog lover, and then maybe some of the lower ones here, having the lead or that jacket that they've got to wear, or one of them full of poo bags, or the towel that you clean their feet with when they come back in, all of the dry food or the cans of the wet food or all the medications. I think a medication could be your house first aid kit could be in one of these.
Exactly. That man drawer we all have in the kitchen, that could be in here as well.
Classic
tucked in
one.
the corner on the porch.
Yep.
You've got your umbrellas, you've got the winter stuff for the kids, you've got their boxes at the bottom there for their wellies, that sort of thing as well. You could put it anywhere.
So those of you who have already got the Woolacombe, for example, the Woolacombe behind Joey there, this would work perfectly with that. So this is your bolt-on for that. This is that extra bit of storage, which is going to be made in the exact same wood finish. In the exact... Oh, that's I'm being very presumptuous. Maybe you want to go for something different.
Could be, yeah. They all work really well together.
They do.
My craft room is also the showroom, so I have got pretty much a piece in every colour. And it does look quite nice, even though they are all different.
I love it, Joe's like, I've got to have the latest one, darling.
Yeah.
It's a showroom, it's for business.
Exactly. Yeah.
Woe is me. Look at all my stuff stored away. Excellent. And then you've got to fill, and there's nothing better than filling cupboards.
Oh, I love it, yeah.
There's one, that one's empty. Let's go Christmas.
Let's go shopping.
Let's go shopping, exactly. So this is the Insto, the most affordable item on the show. I'm dividing it by 4. I want everyone to divide things by 4, interest-free. £71 delivered. It's 284 in total. That has already got your 20% off. But if you want to look for like the shorter one, for example, that does coordinate with, use the code CraftStore20 and you will get a further. Just have a play. See what's going on. Put your fancy basket together. Hit CraftStore20. See what comes off it. If it's too, whatever the price point wise, take a bit out, add a bit in. But you never know. We'd rather get it for less money, wouldn't we? That is what the Insto does. And then, if you're thinking, I thought I had enough, but I know I'm not going to have enough space. But then this one could absolutely be the one where you're sort of future-proofed to a degree.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, I went to this one pretty soon after one of these, and I grew into it. You do grow into them very quickly. And
then that's still available for you for something else, somewhere else in the house. Like
you might go and put this then in the bathroom and fill it with bathroom bits.
Yeah.
But then you've got scope to really organise in here because you've got 39 boxes. So you can organise brands, colours, occasions.
What would you do? Are you brands? Are you colours?
Well, my one like this is my stash cupboard.
Right.
So I've got my pipe cleaners in here. I've got all my cards down here, organised by, well, it's in rainbow, so it's gradiented down.
Nice, yeah.
And then I've got paints in the bigger ones. I've got my rings for my ring binder in one. There's all sorts of stuff. Embossing powders are in one. I've got stamps in another, heat tools in another.
Have you labelled them, like put little stickers on or anything like that? I know you can see through them, but...
I haven't labelled as yet, but I was shown pictures at the NEC of people with our furniture and they've all labelled them. So I am thinking I might need a label machine.
You keep
one. It does look satisfying.
Yeah. Isn't it just? Absolutely. I really think, like you say, maybe it hasn't got to be in your home. Maybe you rent an office space or you rent a unit or something like that. Because after all, then when you move on from that office space and unit, this comes with you.
It does come with you. In fact, Sarah Payne has moved hers this week when she moved office space, didn't she?
She moved office space?
Yeah, she's moved office space. So she's taken her pieces and put them in the new one.
Now, Sarah's in next Thursday, a week on Thursday, actually. So I'll ask her. Say, wait, where are you going? You're not telling me anything. No wonder you're not returning my calls. Anyway, yeah, absolutely. I like this sort of, it's almost like a bit of a burnt finish every now and again on the, if I spin it on the side, if that's all right. By the way, they're all on wheels, right?
They are all on wheels, yeah. And this is the Devon oak, but you can see all the knotting, the detail.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
Almost real.
It's a bit more subtle on the oak.
It is, yeah.
Oak. But yeah, this Devon oak, you can see here, I really like, maybe because it reminds me of our living room coffee table, actually, at home. Isn't that weird? I haven't thought about that table in 30 years.
There you go.
But nevertheless, with my parents. But that had that on it, and I was like, oh, what are these? And I don't think that was a real wood. But nevertheless, why am I telling you about that? Yeah, really, really beautiful piece as well. Cracking height, so even then you could, people pop bits and bobs on top, particularly your 12 by 24 scanning mats, for example, for your scanning
it's
cups.
not that high that it is unreachable. So you could put your baskets on there of your yarn, of your fleece, of big bulky things. You could put your printer up on there if you really wanted to get it up out of the way. It's still accessible.
Yep.
But you've got space on the side, so you could put your magnetic sheets on there for dies you use all the time. I put hooks in mine to hang my rulers.
That went down well.
That really went down well. But then they're there and I'm not losing them. My yardstick is hanging up there, so when I need it, I grab it.
Off we go. Would this work for you? I think the question to ask ourselves is, would you like one of these? I'm pretty sure your answer is going to be, I love one of these, but I haven't got the space. Well, then you look at the Insto back one. If you have got the space, you go here. You absolutely shop here. You divide the cost by 4, interest-free. You can do that in storage4crafts.com because you're going direct. Choose one of 7 colours. You can do that because you're shopping direct at storage4crafts.com. This is a self-assembly one, so I'm assembling this, right?
Yes, you are, yes.
Any advice?
Well, they're designed for myself to do, so they are done really easily. They are just a Phillips screwdriver. I always start with the backs on the floor and attach everything to that.
Okay.
Then the casters go on. Something like this, you might need someone to help you stand it up because it can be quite heavy. But it takes me longer to put all the shelf pegs in than to build the carcass.
And as you saw in that review, I think it was Alison, was saying like they got the self-assembly instructions and it was super, super simple. So thank you very much.
Remember Carla Bagshaw?
Yes.
She's got the next one up, the higher one. She built that herself in 45 minutes last week.
What a gamer she is.
Yeah.
Absolute baller. Yeah, fair play. And she's got like her own business now, cut by hand, doesn't she, as well?
She has, yeah.
And loves quilling, so maybe it's something like that. Like
Yeah.
the papers there, you've got to keep them perfect.
This is it. There's pictures on her Facebook page, and she's started to fill it with all her quilling bits and pieces. So have a look. Yeah.
And then you start to fill, and then you think there's another box and another box and another box, and I'm going to do it that. But I love the idea. How do you do? You can leave a comment on YouTube, on Facebook, by the way, whether you go by occasion, go by colour, go by brand, go by whatever you like to do. You absolutely can. Now then, this is of course in the Devon.
This is the Devon oak.
Devon oak.
Yeah.
We've got, you see it here in the. I think it's in the vanilla, in the white.
Yes, this is the vanilla. Yeah.
Looks spectacular, doesn't it, in your home? So if that's sort of the home that looks like your home, very sleek and clean and crisp, then maybe you want to go for the white. But listen, it's just your own preference, right, Joey?
It is, yeah. And likewise on our website, you can add doors to it if you want to.
Oh yeah.
So
Yes, you can.
that is an option. So maybe you don't want to have everything out on display. It is going in the spare bedroom. You can put doors on it. Hide it all away.
Hide it all away if you want to, or you haven't got to, but that is an absolute option for you. By the way, lots of you are writing to us, so thank you ever so much for those of you watching and also commenting. Nancy Kimberley, I can see you, just a couple of people there saying hello on Facebook. A lot of you also watch on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook right now and you want to watch on YouTube, by all means, search the Craft Store TV. One's got like 30,000 followers, it's still us, but the live one has 102,000 subscribers. So if you want to watch on YouTube whilst it's 103. Going up all the time.
There you go.
The Craft Store, but in the it's Craft Store TV. But nevertheless, it's the one that's live. If you look on the other one, it's not live, it's not us. Even though it technically is us, but you get the point, we still own it. Anyway, I wish I hadn't got into this minefield. It is confusing. You can still watch it. As long as it's live, you can watch it on there. Should we go back to the Nights Haze? Is that all right? Well done, everybody shopping, by the way. Storage4Crafts.com. That is the whole point, in all seriousness, of all things craft store. We've just gone over 1 million views on our social media channels on the live shows. Yeah, 1 million people in 5 weeks. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. It's all through to the suppliers. And all of those people watching, you are shopping direct. Therefore, every single penny of yours goes to the supplier, or goes to the designer of those stamps, or goes to the manufacturer, or goes to your favourite demonstrator. That is the whole point. That's why the website on the screen changes every single hour. Storage4Crafts. So thank you so much. We're looking forward to the next million, aren't we? Right. Nights Haze. Here we go. This is exactly, I said it before over there. Would you like to have this at home? Absolutely. Do you want the best possible price? You're there already with that further 20% off, and the assembly included, and the lighting rig included as well. We said we'd have a closer look. Let's have a closer look.
Do it.
Okay. Give us a tour, Joe.
So this is your craft room in a box.
Yep.
And everything you see is included. So all the boxes, all the trays, the lighting. All you have to do once we finish building it for you is fill it with all your crafty goodies and then play.
How do I turn the lights on, by the way?
So the light switch we've moved.
Okay.
It used to be at the top, but I couldn't reach it when I was sat down, so it's now under here.
Oh yeah, little like black flick switch. Done. Wicked.
There we are. So it lights up the area where you're going to work, not in the rest of the room. So if we start down this door.
Oh, there's secret compartments, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Wren Kitchens have got nothing on these guys. Honestly, this little bit here.
I like this bit. There we go.
It's like that secret cupboard where you put the spice rack, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And the shelves are adjustable, so you could move them wherever you want to for your sprays, for your paints. You could put pots on these with brushes in, with your pens, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then keep it tucked away when you don't need it.
It's all like soft clothes as well. It's just such high end.
It is, yeah. Kevin likes shopping around for the hardware, and he plays with bits and pieces, the hinges, to make sure they close nicely.
Yeah.
No, it's important. They've got to last.
I suppose it's that standard that people now expect. Hence why people come back. Like, you don't want to then get an inferior because you've changed X, Y, and Z. Everything is to improve all the time.
Exactly. I mean, the hinges on the doors of the Woolacombe, they're like kitchen ones, so you can adjust them a little bit, because just because it's flat in here, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be flat in your room. So there's a little bit of give on the hinge to make sure that they sit correctly.
All these little things that I wouldn't even consider, but they're there ready for us. Nevertheless, so we've got the secret drinks cupboard.
Yeah, you've got the secret drinks cupboard. Then you've got some A4 trays down here. You've got 2 of the shallower ones, which are about a ream of paper height, if you're trying to gauge them. And then you've got 5 of the deeper ones. I tend to put the stuff I use the most in here.
Okay.
Because I'm in and out of them all the time. I don't want lids getting in the way. And then underneath you've got some cubie trays, which are new. We don't put these in any other unit at the moment.
And cubey trays. I like the little thin ones. Like you see something different every time.
Yeah.
To the shallow one like there, and then to the right of those, all the little ones.
Yep, these are great. So this would be glitter tray.
Yep.
Marbling is a really good thing to do in these trays because you can wash them out really easily. This is sort of ribbon reels, fit in there quite nicely. Or pens, paint brushes.
Well, I think, yeah, if you've got your favourite Secura pens or your Spectrum Noirs or whatever they are, and you want to do it by brand that way, or your Tricolours, whatever they are.
Perfect. And then you've got paper storage really in the middle here. You've got two 12 by 12s, and then you've got lots of different A4 depth boxes, but we've given you empty spaces as well because you've got filled scrapbooks to put away. You've got more than one die cutting machine to put away.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, all of these are so easily acceptable from you know, and also underneath the table, and there's tons there as well.
Yep.
But if this arrived like that, you'd be like, I get it. There's loads of room there for me to put maybe a little alarm clock going in there, whatever, like just to grab the papers that you need for your printer, your, you know, whatever you're doing. Maybe you've already printed off loads of backgrounds from your CD-ROMs back in the day or your downloads. The fact that all of and these boxes then, if they were like a bonus, oh, by the way, with added boxes, you're thinking, right, I'll put them under the, they'll have my wedding shoes in the bag that coordinates with them, or like ties and matching, like pocket squares, etc. They come included. And they are perfectly have I got even that, or am I putting them back in the wrong place?
Yep.
Probably am. But nevertheless, and so you can use them for whatever you want them used for. They may be going to live out here and never go back in.
Exactly. But you can do that. You could use them in the kitchen if you wanted to.
Yep.
They could go in the kitchen cupboard. You could put your flours, your baking powders, if you're a cake baker.
Point.
I mean, I've used them in the kitchen. In a previous life, we had a tea shop. So we used these in the kitchen.
Yep.
And they go through the dishwasher. You can put them in the freezer if you want to. You know, you can use them for anything.
Those little trays, I think they're absolutely perfect for all those 1,000 spices that you get.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I'm asked
all over
to get the paprika or something like that, and I'm like, what colour is it? Is it orange? Is it green?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're absolutely perfect in here to have them to hand. They're always at the back of the shelf.
Yeah.
I know sometimes you get spinny things and all sorts, but you get the point of just making life easier, isn't it? I don't know, where'd I get this from? And it's just a real satisfaction.
It is.
With everything fitting perfectly in there, isn't it? Oh, even more under there.
Yeah, lots of smaller square ones in under there. So you could put your fabric clips in there. You could put your seam rippers, your pins, that sort of thing, your buttons.
Yeah, your findings, your fastings, if you're jewellery making, your sparesy crystal art crystals and things.
Yep.
Big crystal art show coming in on Thursday, by the way. Miss Wheeler's going to be knocking about. Well, she might be. Who knows? And helping us demo. Below the table, by the way, lots of bigger boxes too.
Yeah, it's the first time we've put an A3 box in a Nights Haze. So you've got one of those under there. You've got some 12 by 12 boxes under there. And one of the bigger, deeper A4 ones that you can put hanging files into if you wanted to as well.
Excellent. If that was it, you'd be like, wow, that's plenty for me. I'm not forgetting it all folds up, not forgetting you turn the light off. That table folds up as well, so it's just a beautiful cabinet or a wardrobe for you. There's another, the half, but the leaf, the arm, the door that folds out by Joey there, having that special invisible cabinet that comes in now. I've never seen that before. The lighting, never like included in the price that I've ever seen before as well. Over on my side, and I like how it folds proper flush back, doesn't it? So it's straight as a die here.
It does, yeah. And it gives you the scope, though, to put it at 90 degrees if it wanted to go in the corner, or to pull it slightly round so you can access everything while you're working.
Oh, yeah, so it could be like a little hideaway if you want it to be, right? Here we go. Now, I haven't put the table down yet because I also want to point out that there's another 8 boxes over here.
Yeah, so sort of shoebox size, although you've got a slightly deeper 2 at the bottom. Yep. And again, think fat quarters, think CDs, DVDs, little bits that we're always losing. One of these in the back of the car, for example, or in the boot of the car for the torch or whatever it is, you know. Be really, really in the garden. If you're into gardening, by the way, I know you garden back on here with us, by the way, come Thursday morning as well. But just thinking about it for your gardening gloves in here. Maybe it's going to be full of the compost you take with you or the trowel and things. Like these boxes are so hardy, and then to take them out and about and away you go. The other way around. In fact, was it last spring? I had a couple of these damaged in the warehouse, so I took them home. Kevin drilled me a few more holes in the bottom and actually put my seedlings in them. Nice. Put the lid on them, so kept them in that. And then as they started to grow, I just took the lid off. Like a little greenhouse. Yeah, it was, if you're thinking I'll do the exact same thing, you can. They're your boxes. Yeah, exactly. Do whatever you want to do. But also on this side, now what's the theory of another table? When you're crafting, you need always more space to work, regardless of, you know, you could end up working in a space about 8 inches square sometimes.
Yes.
But to be able to have space to have your die cutting machine out, to have your overlocker out at the same time as your sewing machine, it makes life a lot easier. Equally, you could have your children join you. You could sew with friends, craft with friends. It makes it more social.
I quite like the idea of because you were saying your most popular bits are to your right hand.
Yeah.
I like the idea there could be a cup of tea, some biscuits on this side of it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like your little treats to keep you going on this side, and also, you know, pop some glue on there as well, so people think it's a craft station.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could do your right. Yes, Chris.
You could have an ironing board on there.
You could have an ironing board on there, couldn't you? Absolutely, quite right too.
Yeah.
But it's a lovely long station, so you turn around, you sort of got that sort of like in a little C shape, aren't you? With your chair in the middle, and then obviously when that's done, that's done. But then, even like I'm sure, where is it? I'm pretty sure a Pro Cut will fit in. Hang on.
Yeah.
Keep going, Joey. You're in charge.
Oh no. So
there's definitely one in here
you've got
somewhere.
lots of boxes in here as well. So you have got 2 sort of CD size, which are perfect. So if you're old school and got CD-ROMs, you've got A4 boxes above, and then you've got 4 of the sort of ribbon reel size. Fit in there nicely. That looks cool in there.
Well, yeah, I just thought, like, maybe you know the size of a Pro Cut. There is plenty of room. I mean, literally, you could put like, maybe 2 or 3 side by side. I know you're not going to, but just talking about the scope and the scale of the size that you've got at your disposal here. That is a really cute area for that.
It is, and again, the shelves in this area are completely adaptable. So you could take these out and put your finished scrapbooks in there.
Yep.
Because I find those a pain to try and store because they're too big to go in some boxes, but equally you want to look at them, so pop them on the shelf.
Director Chris wants to wrap his Christmas presents on here.
Yeah, to be fair, I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always end up doing it on the floor, but it's such a good idea on a harder surface, isn't it?
Yeah, or I use one of our standing cutting tables in the middle of my craft room.
See, if you've got the stuff, away you go all year round. We're still on the same item, by the way. Yeah, the same Nights Haze. Like, remember when we started over by Joey behind there with the cupboard coming out and underneath, then it all folds in as well, the electricity, etc. Isn't it absolutely exceptional? You mentioned everything else up here too. Let's quickly talk about, and if you've just joined us, assembly. In my previous experience, when we joined together 6-7 years ago, and had lots of shows between then and now, it's been an additional cost, which is quite right too, bearing in mind the sort of man hours that go into it and people physically coming to you. That was normally an additional cost.
It was, yes.
It's not with this Nights Haze.
We've added it into this one. So we will come and put it together for you, take all the stress away and the rubbish. We'll take all that home with us as well and reuse it. But we will build it where you want it. So if you do craft in the attic or shed in the garden, that's where we're going to put it up for you. As long as you live within sort of mainland UK, but not as further north than Glasgow and Edinburgh. And unfortunately, Kevin can't as yet float the van, so we don't do the assembly over water.
Fair play. But that is it. So if it is maybe you're ordering on behalf of like mum or nan or auntie or brother or whomever. You are clubbing together and going to get a gift of this. They will absolutely adore. You know what? You can never necessarily tell what someone's going to like as far as like a design goes. Like, I hate buying clothes for other people because I'm like, oh, do they want a pattern? Do they want a dress? Is it a skirt? Is it a blouse? Is it a top? Is it a suit? Is it long sleeve? You know, whatever. That's really personal preference. And I think the same with like, what stamp, what designer, what colours do you want? Like It's very much dies. What everybody wants is more room. What everybody wants is somewhere safe to store all their stuff in a little area you can call your own, because we spend a lot of our lives looking after grandchildren, caring for other people, making cards for other people, thinking about doing cake sales. And crafters, you are the most generous people out there. So to have something for you where all of that can be stored and come to life and be used just for yourself, I think it is absolutely exceptional. And then it's going to outlast us all. So goodness me, this could be in your home for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Because it is made of, I say it can take heat. It can take like a conservatory which gets really, really hot and really, really cold. It's designed to. It's designed to.
It's made out of the same stuff as your kitchens and bathrooms. And you know how hot and cold those rooms can get, how much moisture can be in those rooms. This is a little bit thicker, so it's a little bit more rigid. We use the same material on the back, so you haven't got that bit of plyboard that you've got to try and tack in. It's going to stay nice and retain its shape. It's not going to twist like some wardrobes do as you move them around the room.
Yep.
So your shelves are going to stay in place. The boxes aren't going to drop down or anything like that. I mean, my mum, bless her, has always had prototypes, but a few years ago we gave her all matching furniture for her birthday, and now my nieces and nephews are really putting the furniture through its paces.
I bet.
But some of those pieces were like 18, 19 years old, and they're still going strong now.
Do you make just normal furniture? Can I buy a wardrobe from you, or is that not a thing?
Not a thing, no. We did try designing beds with craft storage underneath.
Right.
And we took it to the Ideal home show about 10 years ago, but it was just too big, too bulky, and so we knocked that one off.
I feel like all of these ethics, or whatever the word is that you go by, with the quality and the how long it lasts, and like the thinking about like recycling with the packaging that you then take away, and actually like the whole not having a flexi back on it is just, for me. Have you ever tried to take one of those off and put it back on and rebuild it? Because you can't get out the door.
No.
You can't get out the bedroom. Been there, done that. Maybe one day.
One day, when Kevin's got nothing else.
I'll keep it on the suggestion box.
Yeah.
Dear Storage for Dan, please make me a wardrobe. Nevertheless, right, so you're getting the idea that assembly, as you just spied there, sped up, is included. Delivery is included as well. Your price, minus 20%. You've got 20% off the normal RRP. It will go back up. Right now, you're watching these shows. You shop direct, storage4crafts.com, which is why that price, that further 20% saving, isn't just on this one, and the Insto, and the Woolacombe, and also with the Exford as well. Anything else, website-wide, that isn't these four, I can add a further 20% off.
You can, yes.
Craft Store 20, Craft Store 20, when it's in there, Craft Store 20. If you try and do it on this, they'll be like, it's already there, don't worry about it. And you'll be like, phew, you don't want to forget. So it's done for you. But Craft Store 20 off the whole of the range. Never heard of that before. And quickly just recap on the colours, because we've got multiple colours we can pick from.
We have got multiple colours now. We've got the cashmere, which is this one,
Yep.
which does change colour slightly and under different lights,
Okay.
I've noticed. Under these bright lights, it looks quite light. But when we were at the NEC, it looks a little bit darker, which I quite like. So then it moves around.
Yeah.
You've got the standard oak and vanilla, which we've always done on the Create and Craft.
Yep.
Then we've got two different oak colours as well. So we've got the Devon oak with the darker grain, which we showed earlier. And then there's a natural oak, which has got a lighter grain in it. And then there's white.
Yep.
So those who have got IKEA type furniture. And then we've got anthracite, which is a nice sort of blacky, coaly colour.
Is there a picture of that on your website?
There is a picture of that on the website. If you scroll to the bottom of the homepage, there's cabinet finishes.
Okay.
So if you click on that, you'll have a picture of all 7 come up.
There you go.
See them.
Put that website again, Storage4Crafts, the number 4.
Yep.
Storage4Crafts.com. Right, show's absolutely, we've only got 15 minutes left.
Gosh.
That has flown by. Thank you so much. Keep your comments in, keep watching, of course, but most importantly, keep shopping. Storage4Crafts.com. You are in very, very good company. Thinking how many people who've ever walked in this studio and other studios shop. And bearing in mind, people like Sarah Payne can come and touch this stuff and ask you questions and see them in real life to then invest and invest again and again. That is the best testament we can give. Okay, how do we put it back to normal? Like, say we've stopped and we, on this occasion, happen to want to shut it up.
Okay, it is really easy to do. And it doesn't take very long at all. It's just a case of lifting the desks.
I will join in.
And locking those in. And then you've got buttons on the end of the hinges. And it's done.
That was it. And then, by the way, it's really smooth, isn't it? Whether it's a short pile carpet, whether it's on a rug, hard floor like this.
And that's away.
Absolutely perfect. And even the side hinges are flush.
Yeah.
Very clever, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. And then when people come round, the house, the dining table is perfectly...
Exactly, you can eat on it.
Eat on it, clean and tidy. You can sit around having a conversation. But more importantly, they can't get their hands on your stuff because it's all in there. That is the Nights Haze 3.0. Congratulations, everybody, getting the further 20% off. And assembly is included, and the lighting is included. Light's still on.
That's all right.
We'll turn it off in a bit. And divide the cost by 4 on Flexi if you want to. You haven't got to, but if you want to, that is $6.99 delivered price this month, and away you go. Then you're in the system and you're off. But there's even more on the show. Should we order this way?
Let's go that way.
Even more on the show as well. By the way, these little swatches on top of here are all the different swatches for the different finishes on any of the things in the studio right now, right?
Yeah, on any of them. So there are now 7 to choose from, but if you've gone for the oak in the past, you've gone for the vanilla in the past, it's going to be the same colour, so it will match.
I can't decide which one I like, but this is like actually being obviously being in a showroom where you can finish this, you can finish this. Natural oak, Devonshire oak, yeah.
But they're easy to clean too, because they're in kitchens and bathrooms. You can use your sprays on them. You can use your abrasive cleaners. I mean, our daughter, when she was younger, used to, she's always been quite arty, quite creative. She would like almost Zentangle on her bedside table, which was made out of this one. And then once she filled it or she wanted to start again, we would just get the abrasive cleaners out, give it a good old rub.
And start again. And that really shows the difference actually between the cashmere and the vanilla, doesn't it? So you can proper see if you weren't sure to start with. It is a beautiful colour in there. I'm thinking now I know cashmere is a thing, I'd go for cashmere.
Yeah.
But it's up to you. It's your favourite colour at the end of the day, and there's also another white panel for you there. But nevertheless, this is all landing on top of, is it the Woolacombe?
The Woolacombe, yes. So it's basically a bureau, but with a crafty twist. We all, well, most of us liked the bureau that we went to visit our grandparents, you know, playing with all the little drawers.
I feel like, you know, when you go around like a charity shop, or some charity shops have a bigger warehouse, and there's furniture, everyone stops at the bureau. They do. Because there's a story behind every single one, like what was written on there, what letters were received on there. Was it like, almost like an old post office, what was stamped on there? Love it. But
this, we've put lots of storage in there, and it's our only lockable unit as well.
Smooth casters on there, by the way, aren't they? The wheels are brilliant. So you can see them just down there. So there's plenty of scope for, you may never move it in your life, but you never know.
You never know. And you can open them fully all the way. Not this one, because you've got a socket in the way.
Sorry, that's where I keep it.
That's right. So if you don't want to put the desk down, but put the doors out the way, you can. But then you can access all the A4 storage in under there, all the 12 by 12 storage under there. And again, you don't have to keep the boxes in there. You can move shelves about to put other pieces in there. You could put your sewing machine in there. You could put your scan and cut in there. You could put your Xbox, PlayStation, whatever you want, it's in there.
Again, safe and sound, no matter how big or how small, how expensive, how affordable. But bits that are like more spending, like gaming systems and controllers and that kind of thing. Like you want to keep them safe and sound, locked away, right? And plus, I don't know, when you go into someone's house, like in my house anyway, as soon as the TV's on or whatever, like all I see is wires.
Yeah. And they're so annoying.
So to hide those things away, it's not easy. Nevertheless, you get the idea of what we're talking about. Okie dokie. But you mentioned it is like a bureau.
It is a bureau. So all you need to do is unlock it, and then your doors become your legs. And then as you apply pressure to this as you're working, or you've put your machines on it, it's going to hold those in place. So they're not going to go anywhere. But then inside, you've got A4 trays down here, so you can do your filing if you want to, if it's a home office station, or you've got jiffy bags in here, you've got homework in here, you've got space along the back here for pens, for seam rippers, crochet hooks, that sort of thing. And then you've got 3 slightly larger tubs at the top. So you could put CDs in those, you could put your inks in those, your ink pads, bits you use the most perhaps.
That is the perfect height for like a pin flare or a cadence paint or something like that, isn't it? It's that classic height.
It is.
Of all these bits and bobs.
That sort of in-between size box. Almost shoeboxy size.
Imagine your favourite heels that you wear like only on special occasions, or maybe you're a collector of, or maybe it's a collector of handbags, or a collector of something else. Maybe it's like little models. In fact, Chris and me here last hour, and I didn't say it out loud because we got distracted, Chris. Was talking about if you do model making, anything like that, like little painting, really delicate elements for you, to have them somewhere to dry or somewhere to keep your paints, and just the finest paintbrushes, right?
Exactly. I mean, the A4 boxes, the shallower ones, and the 12 by 12 are the perfect height for Warhammer figurines. We've sold a lot of those for that. And the A3 box, you can fit train compartments in. So if you're a train enthusiast and you make your own tracks and stuff, they're perfect for that. Very, very cool. So it is storage for crafts, but it's like storage for hobbies, storage for the home, storage for everyone, whatever you fancy. But it's such a clever... And actually, I love how underneath there's no die cut machine that's as wide as a scan and cut. You've popped a scan and cut in there to show us. There's even easily sized to get that in and out. It is. And if you've got the silhouette, the cricket, they fit in there as well. You could take this top shelf out and put another one in there as well. So you've got the option of having them both. But like all of our workstations, there is also a hole at the back. So you can pop a 4-bar through if you want and attach it to the back, and then everything is plugged in, which makes crafting even easier because you just... Your heat gun, your die cutting machine, whatever it is you are talking about. Brilliant. And then also, let's not forget, your scan and cut could easily then. I wonder where you keep your scan and cut right now, friends. Maybe it's out on the table at all times. Have you ever had to, like, stop working and then shift it out the way because it's dinner time or because
grandchildren come around and want to play a game or do a, this means that this whole work surface, if this is your setup, that's all for everybody else to do the jigsaw, to do colouring with Nan, to do your forever flowers or whatever it is you're doing. And the actual electric-y bits that you've spent money on gets all tucked away and can stay there safe and sound. And then properly when it's done at night, we were talking about this before if we lift this up. If you're working from home or know someone that's working from home, it is really important to actually stop working from home.
It is.
And now I'm involved in the loosest term management with the craft store and organising stuff. If my email goes off, whatever time at night, I want to reply. Because I think if I've sent that email, it's nothing better than getting... You sent it for a reason, even though it's out of working hours and, whatever the reason. So being able to actually shut up shop.
It's valuable as well.
Yeah.
You can't work 24/7. And to be able to shut up shop and think, oh, whatever comes in now, I'll deal with again at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but you know what? If maybe the crafting side of it is what helps you take your mind off work, or if crafting is what you do 24/7 because that's your love and that's your happy place and that's what calms you down and keeps us all sane, absolutely. This or the Nights Haze, etc., could be your craft, well, is your craft station any hour. Maybe you're a real night owl and you're always up you don't get to bed you don't nod off until 4 or 5 because your mind's going a million miles an hour. That's just how you're wired. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Whatever works best for you. Right, gosh, 5 minutes. Got to go this way. 6 minutes, is it? No, told you the... Oh, camera 6.
Okay.
I was like, 6 minutes? Oh, no, you're over there, camera 6. Hi, guys. Very, very quickly, 2 more to show you. This is the Insto. I understand why it'd be the very first point you're creating, but also, if you haven't got a spare room or the dream of a craft room, this is where you go.
This is it, because it's only an A4 footprint. So it'll fit behind the door, fit next to your chair in the lounge. And you can still have all your crafty goodies. You could have all your projects that you're currently working on at the moment in here. So you could have your beading project in here, your bead mat, your tools, all the bits that you need. And then, in a couple of weeks' time, when it is a little bit warmer, you can take that box and go and sit outside.
Oh, can't wait.
It'd be lovely.
I thought it was the other weekend, but it wasn't.
That was summer.
That was summer. That wasn't good whilst it lasted. But nevertheless, and I just want to spin you the back because that is the back on them all, so it is the exact same kind of piece, like on the top, on the sides, away you go. That is the Insto, the most affordable item on the show, especially with that extra 20% off, £71. That is your delivered price this month, next month, next month, next month. But again, delivery on this, is this still like 8 weeks we're thinking about?
If you're going to put it together yourself, you're looking at 6 weeks.
Okie dokie. All details about this in geographic elements, etc., all on storage4crafts.com. That website, storage4crafts.com. But if you go direct, you get all those different colours you can pick from, right? And you can divide the cost by 4, and delivery is included. That is it. Great names, but remind us, they're all called cool stuff, aren't they? Like places.
Yeah, they're all places we take the dog, where we go and eat. I mean, the Nights Haze is a National Trust place that we go to quite a lot.
Okay.
The Woolacombe is a beach, quite a famous beach down our way. In fact, it's one of the surfing beaches in North Devon.
Okay.
They do lots of surfing down there. It's amazing.
Places where you eat. So if I had the range, I'd call it like, oh, here's Nando's.
Burger King.
Here's Harvester. Yeah, here's Five Guys. Here they are. Other guys are available. Right, we're going to leave you with the Exford. This is one of those, another, much like the Nights Haze, a dream one that is now a reality because of that 20% off, because it's in stock, more to the point, because you've got multiple colours going for it. And this is the one where eventually you'll fill it up, but it's going to go for good going to get this filled. It
will. And you've got room to grow. So if you are a relatively new crafter, 39 boxes, you might think, oh, I'll never fill that. Trust me, you will.
You will indeed, in your home, like you can see right here, in that spare room, in the office. Maybe you're thinking, you know what, my other half absolutely loves tinkering in the garage. All these different drill bits he's got, and power tools, and instructions for this, and manuals for that, and that's where his happy space is. Pop this in there. How much more garage space are you going to get back? Exactly.
So much more, and you on the website have the option to add doors to it if you want to.
Yes.
And then they will be plain doors like on the front of the Woolacombe and Nights Haze, but then on the inside you could put your magnetic sheets.
Of course you could.
You could paint some blackboard paint and have all the birthdays that you've got coming up that month, that sort of thing.
I love that, checking that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's her birthday. Gosh, don't want to forget. But yeah, absolutely perfect, isn't it? And away you go. But again, in office space, whichever room it has, as long as the floor is the right size, like the flooring bigger than it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The footprint of this will fit in that room, right?
Exactly. So like the Insto is just one piece of A4. If you put 3 down next to each other with about 1 inch around each piece, that's where this is going to fit.
Yep.
So it will probably fit in the lounge between the chimney and the wall, perhaps. That little alcove that is always quite awkward to fill.
Yep.
This will go.
There you go. Now, we're out of time.
Oh, gosh.
Joey, thank you so much. You have had a titanic UK tour between NECs and our friends at Hobbymaker and Sewing Street. Thank you for including the craft store. We greatly appreciate that. And unique to the craft store is that extra code, craftstore20, getting a further 20% off everything that you don't see in the studio. Come back soon. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Go home.
I will.
Fill up the van. Love to you, Kevin. Go home. Right. Shop direct right now. Storage4Crafts.com. That's where you go. Loads more coming up. We'll keep you in the loop.